Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining my webinar. It is about AI in account based marketing, what's actually working and what's just nice. So, let's start. In the last 18 months, every B2B marketing vendor has slapped AI powered onto their landing pages. Demand base rebranded around revenue AI. Six Sense built their whole story around it. And if you've been on LinkedIn lately, you know there are about 400 posts a day promising you an agent that will run your entire campaign while you sleep. But when I sit down with the 200 plus GTM companies at Pixelo Digital, we work with at Pixelo Digital, the question is never should we use AI in account based marketing? Everyone wants to use it. The question is why isn't the AI we're already paying for actually moving the pipeline? The gap is in generally the between the promise and the pipeline. Now that is where what we're unpacking today, and I'm going to be pretty direct about what's working and what's not and what is just theater. So let's move forward. So a little bit about myself before we get into it. I'm Shashwat Dikshit. I have a digital marketing specialist background. I've done my post graduation from University of Birmingham. I have about 5 years of experience working across B2B and B2C markets. I've run campaigns for organizations such as British Telecommunications, WWF, Sectona, and numerous other companies across India, UK, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. Right now, I'm at Pixelo Digital, where I work on scaling outbound and demand gen across a portfolio of over 200 plus brands. Everything I'm going to share today comes directly from that work, not from vendor white papers, not from theory, from actual campaigns with actual pipeline. All right, let's get into it. So a little bit about Pixelo. Pixelo is a B2B growth and GTM company, which is trusted by over 200 plus brands to drive revenue and accelerate pipeline. We run everything from signal-led outbound to account-based marketing to programmatic SEO and also AI search engine optimization. And we're also behind Prospecto, which is our own B2B data platform that helps SDRs and marketers find verified mobile numbers and emails with better intent signals and real-time enrichment built in. It's what we use in our own campaigns and it's available to for clients as well. Okay, let's look at what we actually do. So these are some of the capabilities that we have, mostly around demand generation, outbound GTM, and SEO. So basically, what you can see is that these are some of the things that we are capable of doing. So the things that comes under demand generation, such as SEO and organic demand, programmatic SEO, content and product marketing, GEO and AEO, which is you could say quite a new term that is getting very famous recently, and outbound GTM, which is basically signal-led outbound, AI SDRs, SDR as a service. And finally, performance marketing, which is paid ads and ABM, and also social media paid ads. These are some of the official partners that we have at Pixelo Digital. Before we dive in, a quick word on our official partners for today. So Clay, Factors AI, Google Ads, and HeyReach, these aren't just logos we put on this slide. We actually use all four for our own client stack. And you'll see them come up naturally as I walk through the use cases in this webinar as well. Quickly, I'll tell you a brief about all these tools as well. So Clay is our enrichment and outreach research engine. Factors.ai is how we turn anonymous website traffic into identified actionable accounts. Google Ad is our paid activation layer for ABM audiences, and HeyReach is used to run multi-sender LinkedIn outreach at scale without burning connection limits. More on each as we go ahead. Yeah. So these are some of the companies that we are working with right now, and some of the companies that we have worked with in the past as well. So you can see companies such as SAP, Lenovo, LTI, Darwin Box, Upgrad, Kotak, and etc. So yes, stay till the end. We do have some AI and ABM prompts to increase productivity for your work. Okay, so coming to this slide, you can see you guys must have seen all over your feed that every other LinkedIn post right now is someone showing off a Claude workflow. Look at these two posts on your screen. The one on the left is someone using Claude Code to generate fully researched ABM landing pages for target accounts, live in 15 minutes. The one on the right says that 8 prompts that automates tasks that used to take hours. The posts are real. The results they show are real. But here's what nobody puts in caption. The last line of the left post tells the whole story. Most people using AI for personalization are doing find and replace with a company name. I would argue is just a mail merge with extra steps. So the question isn't whether AI can do impressive things in ABM. It clearly can. The question is, does it translate to actual pipeline at scale? Or does it fall apart once you try to roll it out to 500 accounts? That's what we're going to break down in this webinar. So is this just hype? Honestly, some of it is. A lot of it isn't. And the problem is most teams can't tell the difference because vendors aren't exactly lining up to tell you which category their product falls into. What I'm going to do is give you the honest breakdown into 3 categories. And by the time we're done, you'll know exactly where your current AI spend sits in each one. So let's talk about the reality in account-based marketing. In this, we have 3 buckets. The left one, which says boring fundamentals, this is the stuff that's working today that has proven ROI and is chronically underinvested by most teams. Account scoring, intent signals, AI-assisted personalization, account summaries, and so on. The middle one, the early stage bets, this is worth piloting right now, but not yet worth betting your pipeline number on. Agentic workflows, AI native microsites, dynamic web personalization, these are some of the things that comes under this bucket. And finally, the last one, the right one, which is the vendor theater. Now, this is where the budget goes to die. Fully autonomous account-based marketing, AI-only BDR replacement, generic personalization tokens, AI content volume plays. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most teams are over-invested in the right column and under-invested in the left column. They're chasing the exciting stuff while ignoring the fundamentals that actually move numbers. We're going to fix that today. So what's working? 4 use cases, all of them boring, but all of them proven. So let's move forward to them. So AI-powered account scoring and prioritization. Start with the highest leverage use case in account-based marketing today, AI-powered account scoring and prioritization. What are we talking about here? Predictive models such as Sixth Sense and Demand Base, these enterprise platforms are pulling first-party engagement and third-party intent data along with firmographics and technographic signals and scoring accounts on how likely they are to convert and where they sit in the buying journey, all before anyone fills the form. Why would you say this works? Sixth Sense is publicly citing across around 85% accuracy on conversion prediction and the account level. And the economics are actually really simple. If you stop wasting budget on the 70% of your target account list that isn't in market right now, your blended customer acquisition cost drop without spending 1 extra rupee. Now that is ROI. It's not that complicated. But here's the catch. And this is the part vendors don't put in the brochure. The platform is only as good as the ICP feeding it. We've seen Fortune 500 companies buy Sixth Sense, plug in vague ICPs like B2B SaaS companies that has 100 to 5,000 employees in North America and get worse results than their old MQL model. The AI amplifies whatever you give it, good inputs or bad ones, garbage in and expensive garbage out. On the enrichment side, this is exactly where clay earns its place. So once you have scored, once you have a scored account list, clay enriches every account on the basis of technographic signals, hiring patterns, funding rounds, LinkedIn headcount changes, and then feeds that back into the ICP definition. The scoring model gets sharper over time because clay keeps the input data fresh. It's a loop, not a one-time setup. At Pixelo, every engagement we run starts with an ICP refinement workshop before we touch any platform. We are tool agnostic. We run your existing sixth sense or demand based, but only after the ICP is sharp enough that the AI actually has something real to learn from. Now let's talk about intent signal aggregation, which is basically NLP at work. So this would be the second use case. Now, intent signal aggregation, NLP is nothing but natural language processing at work. So parsing unstructured signals and surfacing buying intent before someone raises their hand. Now, why would you say this matters? 70% of the B2B buying journey is completed before the vendors even enters the conversation. If you can't see signals earlier, you're always showing up to bid in the final round, competing on price with other three vendors who got there before you. Look at the four signal types on your screen. First party, what accounts are doing on your site in your product. Third party would be what they're researching across the web through Bombora, G2 and other review website. Then the technographic will be what stack moves they're making. And finally, the timing signals would be what physical cycles, hiring patterns, and 10K fillings are their findings. The unlock isn't any one of these signals in isolation, it's stacking them. Single signal lies. Account researching cloud migration could mean the CTO is in serious evaluation mode, or it could be an intern writing a research paper for their manager. You can't know from one signal, but three weak signals stacked together tell the truth that one strong signal can't. On the first party side, this is where Factors AI comes to play. It closes a gap most teams don't even know that they have. Instead of unknown company visited your pricing page, you get identified accounts with page level attribution, contact data, and CRM sync. You already own this data. It's sitting on your website right now. Factors AI just lets you actually read it and act on it. Pipe it into your scoring models, and your intent picture gets meaningfully sharper without adding another third party subscription. Our signal led outbound at Pixelo is built entirely around this stacking approach. We layer signals before a single touch goes out. Salesforce folks call on this call. This is why your reps shouldn't be cold calling off a static account list. They should be working triggered cues based on stack signals activity. Let's move forward. So AI assisted personalization at scale uh, in the pre-AI era. So this would be the third use case. And I want to start with the problem that is actually solving, because you need to feel the pain of the old world to appreciate why this matters. So let's talk about the pre-AI era where true one-to-one ABM didn't pencil out below $500,000 ACV. The math just didn't work. Manual research per account was 45 minutes plus. You could realistically cover maybe, let's say, 50 accounts per quarter if you were pushing hard. And everything below those top 50 got generic templates, which honestly is the same as getting nothing because nobody reads them. Three things on the right side of the screen tells the whole story. 45 plus minutes per account, top 50 only, everything else gets templates. That was the ceiling. Let's move forward. AI assisted personalization with Gen AI. Now, this is something that is going on right now. So, Gen AI basically breaks the ceiling. Now, you can do personalization across 500 accounts instead of 50. Grounded drafts in under 2 minutes. Human reviews it and approves it and doesn't draft. But, and I want to really land this point because it's one of the most teams gets it wrong. The real personalization is not just having high first name. I saw your company is in the industry. That is basically called mail merge. We've all received that email. We delete it under 2 seconds and we think slightly less of the person who has sent it as well. Now, real personalization means referencing their actual buying committees, their tech stack, their actual 10K priorities, their actual recent VP hires. Now, this is account grounded, not template dressed up. Generic AI output is actually worse than no personalization because it signals laziness and the data backs this up. Reply rates on template driven AI outreach are dropping and it's definitely not rising. In practice, here's how it works for us. Now, Clay handles the research layer, pulling up account context from 50 plus data sources and generating drafts grounded in real account detail. Here, each handles the delivery layer on LinkedIn, running multi sender outreach sequences at scale without triggering connection limits, rotating across sender accounts so volume doesn't kill your reach. Clay writes something worth sending, and Hay reads sends it in a way that actually lands. Every email and LinkedIn message we send passes a simple bar before it goes live. Would a human actually send this? If the answer is no, it doesn't go out. So now let's talk about AI account summaries for sales enablement. Now this will be the fourth use case, and this one is specifically for the sales folks on this call. AI account summaries for sales enablement. This is the cleanest, most measurable AI ROI in the entire ABM stack. Now, what goes in a good brief? I can only think about four things, which is a 10K pull about financial health, strategic priorities, and other risks. Now, coming to the signal history, that will be the recent intent trajectory and buying stage shifts. Talking about the buying committee, it would be key personas, recent role changes, who actually has the decision power. And finally, the recommended play, which will be suggested next touch, message angle, and which channels to use. Two tools that make this brief actually trustworthy rather than just another thing and the SDR ignores. So Factors AI injects live website activity into the brief. So a rep can see which pages that account visited in the last 7 days and not a 6 week old intent score. Clay actually pulls the firmographic and contact enrichment together to turn a generic AI summary into something a gap reads about because that is actually accurate. The catch on adoption, and this is something we constantly see as well, and reps don't read briefs because they don't trust and they really wouldn't read briefs that live in a separate dashboard nobody ever opens. So the brief has to be inside Salesforce or Outreach or Salesforce wherever the rep already lives. If it's not in the workflow, it doesn't exist. When we set up for clients at Pixelo, we wire the briefs directly into the rep workflow and marketing builds it. Sales actually uses it. That's the only way this works. Now, let's talk about time requirement per account. So the number justifies this entire use case on its own. SDR and an account executive prep time drops from 45 minutes per account to 5 minutes. Now that is a 40-minute productivity gain per account, per day and per rep. Do the math at scale. The single use case pays off for half of your ABM platform. That's before you factor in the pipeline impact of reps actually prepared when they walk into a call instead of winging it. Now, let's actually take a pause and I'll schedule a poll that you guys can put in your answers so that there's more visibility. Yeah, I think there is a ongoing issue with the poll. But that's all right. Let's just move forward. Right. So, what's promising? So now we move into an interesting territory. These are the use cases worth piloting and experimenting with right now, but not worth betting your pipeline numbers on yet. The data is real, but the operating model is still being figured out across the industry. Two use cases. Agentic AI for ABM workflows. Now, agentic AI, Gartner predicts that 40% of the enterprise applications will have task-specific AI agents by the end of 2026. And Demandbase has already shipped real agents on onboarding setup agents, site customization agent, a conversational orchestration layer. So this is not vaporware. The agents are real. But here's the honest operating reality that you won't hear in a vendor demo. Most agents in production today are doing about 30% of the workflow autonomously and requiring humans oversight on the other 70%. That's not a knock. It's just where agent maturity actually sits in 2026. So, where to pilot right now? In my opinion, campaign QA agents that catch broken UTMs and wrong audience setup before launch. This works today. Audience segmentation refresh, agents that rescore your target accounts list every week. This works today. Where not to bet yet would be pipeline target bearing workflows, autonomous outreach to your top 50 accounts, autonomous ad spend relocation, anything where a failure burns pipeline you can't recover in a week. Not yet. Wait till at least 12 to 18 months. On the paid automation side, Google Ads smart bidding is where paid side automation is genuinely mature enough to act on today. Use your account based marketing account list as audience signals. Let the algorithm optimize bid towards accounts your scoring model has already flagged as in the market. Clay keeps those lists current by auto refreshing your audience data on a weekly cadence. So your targeting reflects current signals scores rather than a snapshot from 3 months ago. That's the kind of agentic behavior that's working right now. Clay enriches and scores, Google Ads activates, no manual list exports in between. At Pixelo, when we pilot agents for clients, we always start in Q&A and reporting. Once the agents earns trust through 6 months of clean runs, we then expand its scope. Trust is earned and not promised. Now, let's talk about AI native microsites and dynamic web personalization. Now, this would be the second promising use case. User-led mutinity follows. This is a new category that generates account-specific microsites and landing pages on the fly. You give it the account context, it ships a finished brand consistent output. The data user-led puts out 67% of the engagement uplift on personalized one-to-one campaigns versus generic. 20%, 27% of the pipeline lift from target accounts on AI native deployments. I cite those carefully and their vendor reported, not independently validated. Engagement uplift, I believe completely. is through pipeline attribution. By making the pipeline attribution is fuzzier and hard to prove cleanly. The right move here is to pilot on your top 50 accounts where the deal sizes justify the investment. Don't try to roll this out for 5,000 accounts at once. The math doesn't work at scale yet. For attribution, factors.ai closes a gap that makes these microsites measurable. An account visits your personalized page but doesn't convert. Factors AI captures the visit, identifies the company, and flags it in your CRM. So you're getting signals even from anonymous traffic. Pair that with Google Ads remarketing, and you can serve that same account targeted display ads based on exactly which microsite content they engaged with. Intent led personalization on the way, intent led retargeting on the way out. So, what would you say? Like, what's the noise? Now, the section you probably came for, five hype patterns that are burning B2B budget right now. I'm going to be direct about each one of those. Let's move forward. So, AI in account based marketing is burning budget right now. Fully autonomous account based marketing. No B2B team is running ABM hands off in 2026. The polished demos are controlled environments. Every revenue bearing decision still needs a human checkpoint. If a vendor pitches you fully autonomous, ask them to show you a customer who's actually running it that way. Watch the answer get vague. AI content volume plays. Some marketing leaders decided to push 500 AI generated blogs post a quarter to feed the funnel. Google AI overviews are aggressively filtering this out over the past 12 months. Search durability is falling off a cliff for this stuff. Volume was a 2023 strategy. It's not 2023 anymore. Generic AI personalization tones. Hi, first name, I saw you in the industry. Here's why our tool is great for industry companies. This is called mail merge. I wouldn't call this personalized email. Buyers know and reply rates are dropping, not rising. The data is clear on this. Now, predictive scoring without ICP is quite rigorous. You can buy the most sophisticated model in the market. If your ICP is B2B SaaS, 100 to 5,000 employees, you will get mediocre output. The platform doesn't save a weak ICP, the AI amplifies whether you like it or not. A note on delivery tools here is HeyReach is great example of a tool that works brilliantly in the right operating model and fails badly in the wrong one. It's a delivery tool. It runs high volume LinkedIn outreach at scale. It does the job well. It is not a qualification tool. Teams that use it to blast generic templates as cold lists get the result you would expect: falling reply rates, damage sender reputation. Teams that use it to deliver well researched, signal triggered, and clear personalized outreach at scale get a completely different outcome. Same tool, completely different results. So, folks, recognize any of these in the pitches you've been getting from marketing. Pushback, marketing folks. Recognize any of these in the vendor's demo? Same answer. So, working model in of AI in account-based marketing is I have figured in the form of four pillars. So, let's talk about them one by one. And the teams winning in 2026 are not the ones with the flashiest agents or the most tools. They're the ones with the four boring fundamentals underneath everything they do. So let's start with sharp ICP. So it needs to be specific enough that two reps would describe a fit account the same way without comparing notes. Stacked signals, because 3 weak signal triangulated beats one strong signal in isolation every time. Human judgment in the loop. AI drafts, human reviews, and revenue bearing decision never ran unattended. And finally, account level attribution. Measuring pipeline influenced and one, not MQLs and engagement scores that does not translate to revenue. Get these four right, and any reasonable AI platform produce will produce ROI for you. Get these four wrongs, and even the best AI on the market won't be able to save you. AI without a operating model is just an expensive automation. Now let's talk about the three. So I think there is another poll, but there seems to be an issue with the polls. So we'll move forward to the three layer in AI ABM stack. So how does all of this come together in practice? This is the framework, three layers, and let me walk you through it. So the three layer ABM that works for you, the layer one is signal intelligence, the foundation. Sharp ICP feeds intent data, which feeds account scoring. The tools in this layer are basically such as Sixth Sense and Demand Base, and others such as Bombora, G2, Buyer Intent, Clay for enrichment and keeping the ICP loop current, and Factors.ai for de-anonymizing your first-party website traffic into identified actionable accounts. Pixelo either architects this layer from scratch or operates your existing deployment. Now, layer two is orchestrated activation. The engine, the multi-channel play, all triggered by what's happening at the account level in layer one. And on the outbound side, Clay for account research and personalized drafts, HeyReach for LinkedIn sequencing at scale, and on the paid sides, Google Ads for running account-based marketing audiences list through smart bidding against your scored accounts. Signal-led outbound, ABM advertising, AI, SDR augmentation, content syndication are all of it lives here. Layer three is pipeline attribution, the proof, the account level attribution that feeds back into the signal layer tools such as Dream Data, Hockey Stack, Salesforce reporting, and Factors.ai for tying anonymous traffic back to known accounts. We report on pipelines influenced and one, not MQLs and engagement scores. Here's what makes this a compounding engine rather than just a weak stack. Layer 3 feeds back into layer 1. Attribution makes your signals smarter. Smarter signals improve your scoring, and better scoring makes your orchestration more effective. The whole thing gets better over time on its own. Now, why would you say this approach works? So you can see two columns on your screen, which basically the typically the approach on the left, and what is the typical approach is on the left, and the Pixelo approach is on the right. So you can read through them quickly. So buying a new tool, bolt into a generalist team, measure engagement, pick one vendor and go all in. Marketing owns ABM in a silo from sales. Every single one of these is how teams end up in the noise column we just spoke about. The right column flips each one. Sharpen the ICP before any tool decision, bring the operating model, measure pipeline at account level, stay tool agnostic and signal led, get marketing and sales into a shared target account list. The difference between these two columns is not just the tools, it's the operating model the tools are sitting inside. AI in ABM isn't a tool decision, it's an operating model decision. Now let's talk about some of the key takeaways that we spoke about during this webinar. Now here are some points to remember. One thing I can clearly say that teams that win have sharp ICP, layered signals, disciplined orchestration, and account level attribution. The AI budget in 2026 is being spent in the wrong bucket. Audit what you're paying for and reinforce those fundamentals. Marketing and sales have to share the same target account list, the same scoring model, and the same attribution view to avoid fragmented results. And finally, pilot agentic AI on low stakes workflows, earn trust, and then expand. I guess that was it from the webinar. Any question that you guys want to ask for me, you can surely drop it in the chat and I can see it. Okay, I think at the moment I'm not receiving any questions. I'll wait for another minute, and if that does not happen, we can move forward. All right, let's go ahead. So yes, that was it about the webinar. So yeah, as promised, we do have AI in ABM prawns for you that you can scan and get it on your mail. This is the QR code that you can scan, and we will send you AI in ABM workflow prompts that you can use to increase your productivity. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who joined, and have a lovely day.